So this is a follow-up to the video I just put out relating to Austria 2024. Now, what you see on screen are the screen recordings that I'd made from the Austrian Grand Prix. Now, there's these 5 black recordings here. When I record, I watch it via Now TV. But when you try and screen record it, it just won't let you record the footage. So I've got the audio. The audio quality is poor. I didn't isolate it, so I think it recorded both what it was picking up as the actual feed from the computer, but also the feedback. So it's not ideal, but it will give you an impression. See, I was recording things even before the Lando Norris Max Verstappen incident. And this is why we're going to go into the first recording. I'm going to play you the first, the second, and then the fourth, the fifth. We'll come back to the middle one, but listen, this is the first recording that I picked up on before the controversy. Let's have a look.
And you normally want to open the corner up like that, as Perez does indeed get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that could even be half a mile an hour.
Perez gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Okay, that's Brundle telling us that. And that could even be half a mile an hour, right? Tell us, Brundle. Sorry the sound quality is poor, but listen to this.
Doesn't matter. Again, there can be no leniency on that. It has to be. Otherwise, if you let a half a mile an hour go, or a kilometre per hour go, well then, what's another one? Do you know? Or another 1.5, you know? So you have to be absolutely rigid on those regulations. It's not. You can't let the goalkeeper move the goal line to suit him effectively.
That's right, Brundle. You have to be rigid on the regulation. Okay, let's just confirm that Martin Brundle, the expert of the sport, 10 years a driver, over 30 years a commentator, 40 years of experience in the sport, the expert that we all rely on for his expert insight.
And you normally want to open the corner up like that, as Perez does indeed get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that could even be half a mile an hour. It doesn't matter. Again, there can be no leniency on that. It has to be. Otherwise, if you let a half a mile an hour go, or a kilometre per hour go, well then, what's another one? Do you know? Or another 1.5, you know? So you have to be absolutely rigid on those regulations. It's not. You can't let the goalkeeper move the goal line to suit him effectively.
You have to be absolutely rigid on those regulations. You can't let the goalkeeper move the goal line. Now, things that make you go, right. We'll come back to that one that made me go, We'll have a look at this one first, Martin. Because back in 2021, talking about being rigid on those regulations and the goalkeeper moving the goal line. Talk us through this one, Martin.
This is awful for Lewis then, with those hard compact and heavily used tyres. So there's the shot then that caused the safety. There has to be a safety car there. And but will they let the lap runners through?
Martin, you have to be rigid on the regulations. Article 48.12. If the track is safe to do so, the order lapped cars will be given to those lapped cars, and they'll all go past the leader in the safety car. Once the last car has passed the leader in the safety car, which it's required to do the last of them, okay, safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. Okay, you have to be rigid on that regulation, Martin.
I don't think it's absolutely mandatory, but...
Oh, you don't think that regulation's absolutely mandatory, Martin? You don't think that regulation is absolutely mandatory? Lying bastard. What were you doing, Martin? Setting up the fix, narrating the fix before it even happened. Before Michael Massey made his error under pressure, you were lying about the regulations. Most of the population doesn't even realise that. They don't realise what you were priming them for. And this is just a fraction of the evidence I've got against you, and a fraction of the evidence that everybody contrived to contrive this event.
But that's normally on a wet day that they don't.
It's normally on a wet day, is it? Oh, does the weather conditions change the regulation? No. Okay, do we have one set of regulations for dry weather conditions, one regulations for sunny days, one regulations for rainy days? No, Martin, it's just one set of regulations.
And if so, how long will they wait?
How long will they wait, Martin? The safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. But you know what, Martin? Ask the strap-on fanboy to let us know what they think in the comments section.
For those lap cars to get out of the way, if they wait for them to catch the pack up, which they don't have to do.
Nope. Affirmed by Crofty. Yeah, absolutely right there, Martin. How long are they going to wait for them to get out of the way? You see this orange dot behind Hamilton there? That'd be Lando Norris. Okay. Lando Norris is now in 8th position. He'll be in 7th when Perez will mysteriously retire for no apparent reason. The car ahead of Norris is Pierre Gasly. Here's Pierre on his way down to turn 9. Okay, before Latifi stuck it into the wall, Norris was closer to Gasly than Verstappen was to Hamilton. Think about that. Norris was closer to Gasly, right? So at that point in time, 8th was closer to 7th than 2nd was to 1st. We now get a safety car incident, and now what? Gasly's going to catch the back of the pack. Norris is here. Norris is left about a lap behind him, just because of a safety incident. Do Sky Sports tell you that? Does Martin Brundle, the expert, tell you that? Oh, I don't think this regulation is mandatory. Okay. Oh, you have to be a stickler for the regulations, Martin, in Austria 2024. Oh, but I don't think this one's mandatory. Will they do it? Won't. But they don't usually apply it on a wet day. Absolute bullshit, right? And if they are going to do the regulation, how long will they? Well, we know it's a minimum of 1 lap. What's the purpose of that, Martin? Oh, that's just to get them out of the way. No, Martin. No, Martin. It's not to get him out of the way. It's not just to part the Red Sea for young Maxwell Verstappen. Okay, that's not what it's about. It's to restore sporting fairness after a safety incident. Young Lando Norris here, he's got to be given the opportunity to make it around that track and get on the back of Gasly. Because from being 12 seconds behind Hamilton, Verstappen gets to be right behind him. 12 seconds is wiped out. Why should that not apply to Lando Norris as well? So you're going to artificially skew different competitors' outcomes. The regulations are written to enable the sporting fairness to all competitors to be achieved. Oh, but how long are we going to wait for those to get out of the way of the race between the leaders? At what point do you cut off who's a leader and who's not? Who's a leader and who's not? Oh, just 1st and 2nd are the leaders. Oh, 3rd, he's not. Yeah, but that's a podium position. You get some champagne to spray around at people. Are you not a leader? No. We can leave 2 cars in between 3rd and 2nd because we don't want 3rd to interfere with the race between the leader. Well, a race between 3rd and 2nd, that's not a race between leaders of the race. No. We're allowed to isolate just 1st and 2nd. Fuck everybody else's chances off and just isolate 1st and 2nd, and let's just see who wins out of those 2. Shall we do that? Should we do that in Austria? Fuck George Russell off, right? I'm not interested in him. Let's just see who wins out of Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Oh, neither of them did. They crashed. What's George doing interfering with that race between the leaders? Oh, he's not allowed to win, is he? He's not allowed to interfere with the race between the leaders. None of your bullshit makes sense, Martin, because you're a lying fuck. You're a lying, fraudulent, validating fuck, paid to lie to the world to condition minds, and it worked. It worked. And I'm going to make it unravel. You lying, fucking, mind conditioning, damaging bastard. And I'm going to make sure that you are exposed for it. And the perpetrators of this are going to be fucking taken down. That was that one. Anyway, we'll have a look at the next video. Oh, actually, I'll just play this a little bit on.
And I don't think we'll get a racing lap. If they let them through, we could get one racing lap.
3 laps to go.
Oh, if they let them through. If they let them through, we could get one racing lap. Those of you who have recently subscribed to the channel, I've done countless videos exposing the last 5 laps in Abu Dhabi, and I've done it via tracker view, and I'm going to do it again. Okay, because there's lots of different ways that I can do this, and I can expose different facets to the corruption through taking you through it and taking you through what each of these lying bastards said. And there's a video by Boy Tendio, and he exposes the fact that in all of the different global commentary teams, in all of the different languages, when it actually took place, when that fix was taking place, not one of them commentary teams called out that the rules were being broken. Not one. Michael Massey got fired off the back of it. If it was right, he wouldn't have got fired. And yet not one of those commentary teams could call out that it was wrong. And there's no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy, no. Not one of them commentary teams was authentic. Not one of them were telling the truth about what was actually... They were just going with what they knew was in. They knew what was going to happen. All the teams went along with it. All of them teams went along with breaking the regulations of the sport to set up that final racing lap for drama. Oh, the World Championship is going to be settled on the last lap of the last Grand Prix of the season. You couldn't write it, could you? Yeah, because you did, you fraudulent fuckers. You fraudulent bastards. And then we get the FIA going, oh, it appears there's a problem with the regulations. Yeah, and it's the regulations that are at fault. That nobody found fault with them for the previous 199 races, where they've been competing under those regulations ever since the start of the 2012 season. Which form of media has told you that? Oh, none of them. Why is that? Because all of the media is complicit. All of them have fed you the same bullshit. All of them. This channel doesn't do that. This isn't a fluff channel that's here to attract the Maxwell Verstappen fanboy. Okay, fuck you. You're a bunch of cunts. Okay, but you still come here and you still come here to troll, and there's a reason that I don't block you. But you fuckers are too thick to understand. It will all come clear. So my warning to anybody that's recently subscribed to the channel, you are going to get trolled. Your comments are going to get replied to by the likes of Dolph Lundgren and other pricks like that. Dolph Lundgren's made about 4,000 comments on this channel. That's disturbing. Okay? But the sport of Formula One has exposed all of us fans to that kind of conduct. From the fucking mindless cunts that then are fanaticized and have been fed wrong information, and this is the damage it causes. This is what it causes. So, ignore these people, but watch what it is that I'm going to show you in future videos, and understand that what you believed, what you've been attempted to be led to believe about that event was a falsehood. I'll break it down, and I will demonstrate to you each of the lies that they told the world about this situation. It's a complete global fraud, and nobody's doing anything about it. And they're all making money out of it. Funny that. Funny that. It's the way the world works. Anyway. Anyway, what's on video 2? Let's have a look.
Did again.
He can't keep moving after I've moved, it's just dangerous. So we're going to have a big shot. He forced me to go wide and look.
So this is Lando on the radio to his team, complaining about the moves that Max is doing.
Understood, mate. He keeps forcing it off. It was the right thing to do to give the position back. Let's get it again.
Yeah, but I can't keep doing this if he keeps moving on to look up.
And on cue then, race control, Lando Norris, track limits has been noted.
So we've got Lando Norris complaining that this is what he's having to deal with. He's having to deal with a madman on track that's weaving in the braking zone, a dangerous situation created by Max Verstappen. Sky Sports interject with, oh, and on cue there, Lando's getting a penalty. Okay, so Lando's complaining that he is the subject of misconduct at the hands of Verstappen, and Sky point out that, oh, Lando's getting a penalty. Thanks for that, Sky. Sky Sports, that's what you do, isn't it? Validate the Red Bull. Vilify everybody else. Validate the Red Bull.
That could be his one saving grace. It didn't look like he gave up the position easily, but he did let Max Verstappen back through. Will the stewards factor that in?
No. I think they'll look at it as a pure, he's been off the racetrack. But you're right, he did give the position back. He did not gain a lasting advantage. He gained no advantage, indeed. But let's see if they're going to go, yeah, that's irrelevant. He went off the track. We'll find out shortly. So, yeah.
I thought it was let them race, Martin. Brazil, 2021. Oh, both cars went off the track. Let them race. No, one car didn't drive the other car off the track. Oh, yeah, Lewis went off the track as well. What? Because he had nowhere else to go? Because the other fucker was just intent on taking him out? Had Hamilton at any stage turned in to stay on the track, there would have been a crash. Oh, yeah, Hamilton went off the track as well, so there should be no penalty to either driver. That's fine.
Ask me if you can, Lando. Try and build a 5-second gap. That's your best chance. And this is a great chance to pass him.
Here we go again then, downhill now with the DRS tucked up right behind Max Verstappen. Which side is Norris going to pick? He's forced to go the long way around. Verstappen placing his car beautifully, runs a little bit deep. But
Verstappen placing his car beautifully. So who's this prick now commentating for Sky? Crofty's replacement, okay? But he gets the job because he knows the right words to say. As long as you're choking on Dutch sausage, you get the job. Yeah. Oh, Verstappen's positioned his car perfectly. Oh, yes, we love that, Verstappen. Oh, yes, keep fluffing the orange army. Oh. Steady on, lad, steady on.
that allows him to hold the position.
Little double move there from Max. You're not allowed to do that.
There you go. Oh, Verstappen's positioned his car beautifully. Oh, Max Verstappen's the best you've ever seen. No, it's called a double move. You're not allowed to do that.
Lando will be on the blower again.
It is now, though, under investigation.
I thought he'd positioned his car beautifully, dickhead.
Not entirely sure how he thinks she forced him off, Max.
Right, so we get F1 TV, right? The orchestrator. F1 TV, what you always got to bear in mind is what you get shown, what you hear is chosen. This is chosen by the director, by the editor of F1 TV, who constructs the global feed to play to you, to get you to believe things to be a certain way. It's not like live sport. This is an edit. There's always a lag. These messages aren't live, okay? He has heard them. He's decided whether or not to play you it. And the reason he decides whether or not to play you it is what he wants you to believe. Okay? That's what it is. If he wants your mind to think about it a certain way, he will play you a certain message. because you don't get to hear all of the interactions between the drivers and the teams. You get to hear the ones that he picks out. He's picked this one out. This is it Giampiero Lambiase, or what his name is, the Red Bull Max's race engineer. Oh, you didn't do anything wrong, Max.
As in, Lando went straight up the inside. Went too far.
They're not talking to us, of course. They're talking to the stewards.
Incident involving that track limits violation.
Not entirely sure how he thinks she forced him off, Max. As in, Lando went straight up the inside. Went too far.
They're not talking to us, of course. They're talking to the stewards.
No, we're not talking about we're talking about the fact that Max is weaving under braking. He's done it 3 times, and then you get Red Bull going, oh, I'm not so sure how he thinks that you're doing anything wrong there, Max, because he went up the inside. No, you're trying to deflect. You're trying to convince your strap-on fanboys that Max is not doing anything wrong. And they'll believe it.
Incident involving that track limits violation for Lando Norris under investigation, now confirmed on the screen for you. That will be weighing in the back of the McLaren. Brains on the pit wall, 10 laps to go. The leaders fighting it out, of course, both with excellent form around this track. Verstappen looking for a 6th win at the Red Bull Ring. Lando Norris looking for his 1st win at this track, but of course it was a 5-second time penalty for the car ahead of him that gave Lando Norris his 1st podium around this circuit. The boot is on the other foot now, but Norris closing in on Verstappen, managing to make their way through the traffic downhill towards turn 4, has a little look down the inside, but doesn't fancy a late move on the brakes.
I think if Lando can get ahead, he's got a chance to disappear, but he's running out of time.
He needs to get through lap 62 of 71. They are nip and tuck for lap time in terms of last lap around, both doing a 1:10.0, but you do get the feeling that McLaren has the pace advantage right now. Russell, a further 15 seconds back in 3rd. He's running on the hard tyres.
Oh, that McLaren has the pace advantage, because you see, when it's another driver, okay, it's the car, okay, but when it's the Red Bull, it's Max Verstappen, okay. Oh, it's Max Verstappen, the fastest thing you've ever seen. Oh, but that McLaren's really fast. It's not Lando Norris, okay, it's the McLaren, okay, and it's not Red Bull, it's Max Verstappen. It's Max Verstappen that makes all of the difference. Oh, it's Max Verstappen against that Mercedes, but that Mercedes looks really fast. Oh, it's Max Verstappen against Charles Leclerc, but that Ferrari looks really fast. But Max Verstappen's really... No, we're watching a cheat car, the Red Bull. You know, the cheat car that was over budget. They broke the 2021 cost cap, making their car illegal for the 2021 season, making their car that they developed for the 2022 season illegal. And then the knock-on effect is that car is essentially the father of the 2023 car and the grandfather of the 2024 car. They're all illegal. Oh, but it's Max Verstappen. No, you're in an illegally fast car that was developed over budget. Its origins are over budget. But Max Verstappen is so fast. But that McLaren looks really quick. Always a narrative, isn't it? Always a narrative.
Sainz, Piastri, who is, that fight is actually developing. Piastri closing in on Carlos Sainz. So Piastri could well be looking to pick up a move. The 2 Hasses still running in the top 10, although Perez has closed right up to the back of Hulkenberg for 7th in the 2nd Red Bull. But this is the number 1 Red Bull fighting for the win around the Red Bull ring. Norris closing in though, trying to deprive him, dives down the inside. It's another late move for Norris, who keeps it on the track. It's Verstappen who has to go wide. He rejoins ahead of him.
Hulkenberg got a penalty for that in the sprint. I don't think he should have done. I think that's normal racing.
No, Martin, it's not normal racing. You have a racing circuit. You have to leave your fellow competitor room on that circuit. If you block them out, if you force them off, then that is not acceptable. You know that. If you were driving, you wouldn't find it acceptable. What you're doing, Martin, is validating for the drama. you're validating because the team that you are paid to promote, that you are validating for, right? That's how their driver drives. And therefore you have to validate that, to normalize that, to make people think that that is normal racing. No, it's not. You do that, and what you do, you condition people to believe that that's acceptable motor racing. People will try and emulate that. You're going to see crashing. You're going to see people getting injured. You're going to see deaths. And you're the fucking culprit of that because you've conditioned people to believe that that's acceptable. You're a cunt. That's what you are, Martin Brundle. An absolute cunt for doing so. What are they paying you, Martin Brundle? You corrupt, filthy bastard. The damage you're doing is fucking immeasurable. You are filthy.
In turn 3, and Verstappen went off the track and kept the place, but as I say, I think he got confused by yesterday's decision.
Oh, he got confused by yesterday's decision. It's all confusing. No, we know what this shit is about. Oh, it was confusing. I've done loads of videos about where a driver is forced off the track by another. We've gone through the FIA documents whereby, oh, there's a penalty here. A driver gets a 5 or a 10-second penalty, 2 points on their licence, 2 points on their super licence for forcing another car off the track, crowding another car off the track. Oh, but they were confused about this situation by yesterday. No, nobody's confused. This is what happens unless the car that's guilty of crowding the other car off track is a Red Bull. And then it's, oh, no further action required. No further action required. It's confusing, isn't it? It is confusing why that's the case.
Yeah, he has to give the position back. I was ahead at the apex.
Yeah, and he went off track. I agree.
And that's actually a bullshit excuse there. There's a bullshit explanation about Norris. And I think that related to the lunge on Norris, which was actually out of order, because if Norris went over the track limit the other side, he might have kept his inner wheels on the within the track limits, but he essentially went all the way across the track, a dive bomb that wiped out all the track room. If that was the situation, I'm sorry I can't show you the footage. That was out of order by Norris, and that is not the actual criteria. The criteria is in the braking zone, at the point where you need to be hitting the brakes, the attacking car needs to be at least halfway alongside the defending car. Okay, the car that's ahead. So as long as Norris has got his car halfway alongside Verstappen, he is entitled to be left racing room around that corner. But Norris also has to leave Verstappen racing room around that corner. That's the way it goes. It's not about who's first at the apex. Okay, because you can just say, oh, we're in the braking zone now. You've just been going along the straight and you've been doing 200 miles an hour along the straight, but you've got a corner coming up. So you need to hit the brakes to make it around that corner. But one car doesn't hit the brakes and carries on at 200 miles an hour. He'll get to the apex first. Oh, I was ahead at the apex because I didn't fucking hit the brakes. Yeah, but you didn't make it around the corner, did you, dickhead? Oh, but I got to the apex first. Of course you're going to get to the apex first if you don't fucking brake. But you've got to make it around the circuit. That's not the rule, dickhead. Don't try and gaslight people into believing that's the criteria that needs to be met for it to be a legal overtake. No. At the braking zone, you assess where you are relative to your fellow competitor. That will then determine whether or not you have got to give way, whether you or not you've got to back off, or whether or not you are entitled to racing room around that particular corner. It's very simple. It's not confusing, Martin. That's something that those of us that have watched the sport for years understand. It really isn't complicated.
Cat and mouse with the track limits for these two. Half a second again, the gap between Verstappen back ahead.
Come on, the referee, we need some decisions.
Come on, the referee, we need some decisions. You're pretty indecisive, Martin, because you say one thing, then you say another, and it's validating Red Bull, and and now it's the referee's fault. Now it's the referee's fault. Why aren't you calling out things that are wrong? Why? Oh, because we can't call out Verstappen unless actually it's that outrageous that we can't get away without calling him out.
He forced me off again.
Oh, so we get F1 TV interject. F1 TV. Oh, he forced me off again. Oh, Max Verstappen's the innocent one now. Yeah, again. So, again, if this is relating to the Norris lunge where Norris does go and put in that filthy move, then fine. But don't say again, because you've been the dirty bastard up to that point. You're the one where you created this situation where at least 3 times you've weaved under braking, so Norris has finally put one in on you. When you start driving like a cunt, then other drivers, what are they going to do? Just back off? Just go, okay, I'm up against somebody that's just going to weave. He's never going to let me by. There's nothing I can do about it. I'll just sit here and I'll settle for second. Or what do you expect them to do? Fight fire with fire. What does that then cause? Oh, it causes a crash. Why does it cause a crash? Because you've got a dickhead in the race that's driving like a cunt. And that then brings it out in everybody else. There's your problem. Oh, we should tolerate everybody. No, we shouldn't tolerate everybody, because if you tolerate things, then people take advantage of the situation. You tolerate people dropping bombs, they'll continue to drop bombs. You tolerate somebody abusing you, they'll continue to abuse you. You tolerate a government that's corrupt, they'll continue to be corrupt. You tolerate somebody driving in the way that Verstappen drives, they'll continue to do that. They'll continue to try to bully their other competitors. So it produces this reaction in everybody. It causes the dangerous situations. Hence, you've got to do something about it. You've got to stamp it out. You've got to make an example. But no, you just gift it to Verstappen all the time. You make out that, oh, he's so incredible. It's just a bit of argy-bargy. No, it's totally unacceptable.
Clever, is it? He's just dive bombing, like, it's not how you would think.
We don't want this race decided.
Unbelievable. But let me just I rewound this when I was watching it, and you'll hear my reaction. So this is Strap-on and his race engineer chatting.
Yeah, he has to give the position back. I was ahead at the apex.
Yep, and he went off track.
Green.
Cat and mouse with the track limits for these two. Half a second again, the gap between Verstappen back ahead.
Come on, the referee. We need some decisions.
He forced me off again. How clever, is it? He's just dive bombing, like, it's not how you would think.
We don't want this race decided in the stewards room. 2 hours after the check.
How clever, is it? He's just dive bombing, like, it's not how you would think.
Max Verstappen, he just dive bombed me. It's not how you overtake. Spain 2021. Just dive bomb me. You're behind. You weren't halfway alongside Lewis Hamilton at Spain 2021. Done a video about it. And as Lewis Hamilton's then taking his line around the corner, you dive bomb him. You send it up the inside, had Hamilton not adjusted his line mid-corner, there would have been a collision. The fact that Lewis Hamilton then drove with a sixth sense, was able to skillfully avoid being smashed into. What did the stewards do? Oh, there was no collision there, nothing to see here. We won't punish the guy that's put that illegal manoeuvre in. Oh, he's just dive bombed me. That's no way to overtake. Well, what was Brazil? That was not even turning in to the corner. That wasn't even attempting to make the turn. What about Saudi? Oh, that was not even attempting to make turn 1. Was it? That was a dive bomb, and you didn't give a fuck. You just went, oh, this guy's about to turn in. No, he's not, because I'm just going to drive across him. I'm going to drive my car in a straight line, and if he tries to turn in, there's going to be a crash. That's what he did at Saudi 2021. And what about turn 6 on lap 1 of Abu Dhabi? What kind of manoeuvre was that, Max? What kind of manoeuvre was that? He has to give that place back. He has to give that place back. Oh, I was ahead at the apex. Doesn't work like that, dickhead. Doesn't work like that. Right, I'm mindful how long this has gone on already. I said that I was going to come back to video 3. It's actually, I've got the order mixed up. This is the long one. This one needs me to take a bit more time. And then there's other things I need to bring in, because there's a video clip that I need to show you from Instagram. And because that relates to the video I did yesterday. So that'll do on this one. And I'll need to do another couple of sections, really, to show you exactly what it is. I'm mindful that on a lot of videos, people don't want to watch things that are more than 10 or 15 minutes long, and I'm already mindful of how long this one already is. So thank you for your time. Thanks for tuning in. The world will eventually wake up. The world will one day realise that you've all been lied to. We have all been lied to about that event. And there will be deniers. There will be the fanatics. There will be the fanboys. And just ignore them. They are here for a reason. And yeah, just don't let them ruin your interaction with this channel, because that's what they try to do. They want to quash this channel. They don't like the information that this channel is putting out. They're turds of human beings. I would love to meet some of them one day. When this is done, we'll see what we can set up. I look forward to it. Anyway, thanks for your time.